Hi all, this video is about most trending topic, business analytics. It is the iterative, methodical and exploration of an organization's data with an emphasis on statistical analysis. Successful business analytics depends on data quality, skilled analysts. They can only understand the technologies and the business and an organizational commitment to using data to gain insight that informed business decisions. Let's see the topics that I'm discussing here. The first topic is specific types of business analytics. Next, business analytics tools. Then, the roles for successful analytic project. And the important and the last topic is the life cycle of business analytics. Let's start with types of business analytics. Some specific types of business analytics includes 3 types. The first one is descriptive analytics. It discussed about what happened, which means it tracks key performance indicators to understand the present state of a business. And the second type is predictive analytics. By the term predictive, they analyzes trend data to assess the likelihood of future outcomes. They think about what happened in future. And the last business analytics types is prescriptive analytics, which uses past performance to generate recommendation about how to handle similar situation in the future. They think about what should we do to handle the similar situations. So these are the types of business analytics. Next, we can move to the business analytics tools. They come in several different varieties: data visualization tools, business intelligence reporting software, self-service analytics platforms, statistical analysis tools, and the last type is big data platforms. Let's move to the key roles for successful analytic project. The first role is business user. Someone who understands the domain area and usually benefits from the result. This is the person can consult and advise the project team in the context of the project, the value of the result and how the output will be operationalized. Usually, the business analyst, line manager or the subject matter expert in the project domain fulfills this role. The next role is project sponsor. He is responsible for the genesis of the project. It provides the inputs and requirements for the project and defines the core business problem. Generally provides the funding and gauges the degree of value from the final outputs of the working team. This person sets the priorities for the project and clarifies the desired outputs. Project manager, he who ensures that key milestones and objectives are met on time and at the expected quality. Business intelligence analyst provides designers domain expertise based on a deep understanding of the data, key performance indicators, key metrics, and business intelligence from a reporting perspective. Business intelligence analysts generally create dashboards and reports and know the data feeds and sources. Database administrator provisions and configures the database environment to support the analytics need of the working team. These responsibilities may include providing access to key databases or tables and ensuring the appropriate security levels are in place related to the data repositories. Database engineer leverages deep technical skills to assist with turning SQL queries for data management and data extraction and provides support for data ingestion into the analytic sandbox, whereas the DBA sets up and configures the databases to be used. The data engineer executes the actual data extractions and performs a substantial data manipulation to facilitate the analytics. The data engineer works closely with the data scientist to help shape data in the right ways for analysis. And the last role is data scientist. He provides the subject matter expertise for analytical techniques, data modeling, and applying valid analytical techniques to given business problems. It ensures overall analytics objectives are met. They designs and executes analytical methods and approaches with the data available to the project. Let's move to the most important topic of this video, life cycle of business analytics. Main phases of the life cycle is business problem definition. That's the first phase. Normally it is a non-trivial stage of a big data project to define the problem and evaluate correctly how much potential gain it may have for an organization. It seems obvious to mention this, but it has to be evaluated what are the expected gains and cost of the project. The next phase is research. Here, analyze what other companies have done in the same situation. This involves looking for solutions that are reasonable for your company, even though it involves adapting other solutions to the resources and requirements that your company has. In this stage, a methodology for the future stages should be defined. The next phase is human resources assessment. Once the problem is defined, it's reasonable to continue analyzing if the current staff is able to complete the project successfully. It should be considered before starting the project if there is a need to outsource a part of the project or hire more people. Data acquisition. It defines which type of profiles would be needed to deliver the resultant data product. Data gathering is a non-trivial step of the process. It normally involves gathering unstructured data from different sources. To give an example, it could involve writing a crawler to retrieve reviews from a website. This involves dealing with text, perhaps in different languages, normally requiring a significant amount of time to be completed. The next phase is data mugging. Let's assume the data is retrieved from different sites where each has a different display of the data. Suppose one data source gives reviews in terms of rating in star. Therefore, it is possible to read this as a mapping for the response variable y element of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another data source gives reviews using two arrow system, one for up voting and the other for down voting. This would imply a response variable of the form y element of positive and negative. In order to combine both the data sources, a decision has to be made in order to make these two response representations equivalent. This can involve converting the first data source response representation to the second form, considering 1 star as negative and 5 stars as positive. This process often requires a large time allocation to be delivered with good quality. And the next phase is data storage. Once the data is processed, it sometimes needs to be stored in a database. The most common alternative offered by big data technologies is using the Hadoop file system for storage. That provides users a limited version of SQL known as Hive query language. Other storage options to be considered are MongoDB, Redis and Spark. For example, Teradata and IBM offer SQL databases that can handle terabytes of data. Open source solutions such as MySQL are still being used for large-scale applications. Even though there are differences in how the different storages work in the background from the client side, most solutions provide SQL API. Hence, having a good understanding of SQL is still a key skill to have for that big data analytics. The next phase is exploratory data analysis. Once the data has been cleaned and stored in a way that insight can be retrieved from it, the data exploration phase is mandatory. The objective of this stage is to understand the data. That is normally done with statistical techniques and also plotting the data. This is a good stage to evaluate whether the problem definition makes sense or is feasible. Data preparation for modeling and assessment. This stage involves reshaping the cleaned data retrieved previously and using statistical pre-processing for missing values imputation, outlier detection, normalization, feature extraction, and feature selection. Modeling. This stage involves trying different models and looking forward to solving the business problem at hand. In practice, it is normally desired that the model would give some insight into the business. Finally, the best model or combination of models is selected, evaluating its performance on a left-out data set. And the last phase is implementation phase. In this stage, the data product developed is implemented in the data pipeline of the company. This involves setting up a validation scheme while the data product is working in order to track its performance. For example, in the case of implementing a predictive model, this stage would involve applying the model to new data, and once the response is available, evaluate the model. The last topic I am discussing here is developing core deliverables for stockholders. There are 4 main deliverables. The first one is presentation for project sponsors. This contains high-level takeaways for executive-level stockholders with a few key messages to aid their decision-making process. Focus on clean, easy visuals for the presenter to explain and for the viewer to grasp. And the next one is code for technical people. Technical specifications of implementing the code. One more deliverable is there, presentation for analysts, which describes business process changes and reporting changes. Data scientists will want the details and are comfortable with technical graph such as ROC, receiver operating characteristic, then curves, density plot, and histograms.